you have been a trendsetter of sorts to see the possible uprise of a location way before anyone else does, be it Powai, Thane, or Panvel. So how do you do it? You have a 100% record, of creating lead over competition. So my question to you is, what factors do you think have been crucial for you to make such decisions over a period of time? And according to you, which other location may hold such possibility, to flourish like Powai or Thane in next 20 years?
Kritika, thank you very much for all the compliments. The issue is very simple, actually. Property is all about location. So you have price locations, you have iconic locations, you have locations which have great ego into it. So it's whether you're in Delhi or Mumbai, there are always going to be locations that people would buy to go and stay because they are iconic locations in terms of how they have grown, the infrastructure is developed in the area. So in reality, what happens is those who are in the real estate trade and want to go into larger projects, obviously have to identify locations which have a good future, in sense that you have to anticipate which direction the city is going to grow, how the infrastructure is there in that location, and what is it that you can add to it. Because ultimately, it's about what you can do as an add value for the location in terms of infrastructure, in terms of amenities and all. So for example, Kritika, let's look at Powai or Thane, for instance. We developed not only the building areas, but we also developed the gardens. We have 100 acres of gardens and forests around Powai. 100 acres, that's a big amount. Nobody ever dreamt that a city like Mumbai, you could get 100 acres of gardens and forests around the project area. Then we made all the roads into concrete. We kind of put all the ducting underground, so you don't have to pull out cables, and every time, even for electricity and other things, you just pull in cables through the pipes, and ducting for telephones and so on and so forth. We created the first sewage recycling plant in a private layout in India. We did and we maintained these areas. We put up a school, one of the finest schools. We put up a hospital. We put up a go-karting track for youngsters. So all these things, when we put up, it became a holistic destination. So it's not only about choosing a location, Kritika, but actually developing one. And when you develop the location which has all the figuratively kind of artistic destination, you find people loving the architecture, but actually not only looking good, but being good in sense of the amenities being good, the good waterproofing, seeing to it that you have common facilities which are possible, swimming pools, clubhouses, and others, much before other people did it in India. So all in all, we kind of continue to identify locations. As you mentioned, Powai, Thane, Panvel. We're doing Chennai. We're now doing Alibag, which is just at the boundary across the harbor where we have a ro-ro connectivity. Pune, for instance, we are looking at that very seriously. We have done places. So all sorts of places in the western and southern region. The north, of course, has its own beautiful locations around the NCR area. So a lot of development has taken place in these areas. But a lot of it is lost out because they didn't develop adequate infrastructure around those locations. And that is a big lose out. So if you kind of focus on developing infrastructure within the layout and nexus to it, I think most locations can become iconic.